What's up, Brutes and Brunettes? It's the Pico Dudes. I'm Sam Rathert, and with me, the man who still can't keep still about the Pico Still. It's Jeremy Hidalgo.
What's up, man?
What's happening?
Hey, we got a good beer for review today.
We got a good beer for review that we've not hardly had a lot of yet.
We've had so much of it. Dude.
Shocked faces around the listener community.
Yeah. Hey, and today we're filming in front of a live studio audience.
We are.
Of one. And if you're a Rise Against fan, you might even get the reference to the song that I'm talking about. Anyways, my brother-in-law Adam's here, and he's going to make faces, maybe laugh, maybe give us a thumbs down. Let us know how we're doing today, because we've drank a lot of this beer before we got going.
Yeah, you see, you got me again. You've done it to me again, Hidalgo.
What would I do?
I show up for every episode stone cold sober.
That's
ready
good.
to podcast. And then it's, hey, want to try a beer first? And let's talk and let's make a video about unboxing the Pico Still.
Unboxing the Pico Still? Dude, who does the stuff like that?
Unboxing videos. I'm an unboxing video virgin, and I have busted that today.
Oh, yep. Your cherry's all over my kitchen. Our video will be all over the internet, because that's an internet thing.
And serious, we have our very own Pico Still now. The Pico Dudes are getting into the stilling game, and part of that was prompted by some conversations you've had, right?
Yeah. Well, the conversations were really starting around the hops that I grew and the contest we ran that was basically, I'm going to take these hops. I got to do something with them. Why don't I brew a beer, use a Pico Still, and see if we can put the dry hops. We had a conversation with Andy Lusk, and he's been like, dude, I've taken all my beers that have dry hop packets. I take the packets, I put them in the Pico Still, I distill the hop oils out of them, and I add those instead of the actual dry hop process, and it's brilliant. He's like, I get so much more flavor out of it that way.
Yep.
So we reached out to Pico Brew, said, we want to do something similar. I've grown hops on the side of my house. I want to make a beer. I want to distill the hop oils. I want to see how this turns out. They've agreed. They said this is a great idea. We're going to go do that in the lab. We're going to video it. We're going to create a video, put it on YouTube. Hopefully it's good, or maybe you guys watch it. I don't know. We'll see how that turns out. But in the meantime, it got me and Sam very excited about the Pico Still, so we bought one. Dead air.
Oh, was that where I'm supposed to come in?
Yeah, I don't know what else you want to say, but...
No, we did. We opened it. We're excited to see what we can start doing with it, and for you to learn along with us, because as we've spoken to people who have the Pico Still, it doesn't sound as super easy friendly as you would hope.
Yeah, it's not like you just pop a Pico pack in a step filter, put it in
Yeah.
a thing, and walk away.
So there's going to be a little bit more learning. There's going to be hopefully some good lessons to add to the FAQ and to our Lessons Learned podcast. Which
FAQ, man.
Okay.
Hey, FAQ, buddy. Sorry. There's a delay in these headphones. That's
Is that the problem?
plus beer.
And so... we want to know, and we're going to probably start by using this still to enhance our own brewing, right?
Yes, agreed.
And we're going to hopefully do some comparisons of, hey, this is brewing it up the way that all of us are brewing it up, and here's brewing it up, but using the Pico Still to hopefully enhance and see if we can hit that next level. Ding.
Ding, next level.
Yep.
Although, speaking of next level, I kind of feel like the beer that we're reviewing today, it's a Pico pack.
Spoiler alert.
And...
Jeremy likes his own beer.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, it's a Pico pack, or that I like my
own
beer?
Next
Okay.
level.
Yeah, no, it's a Milk Mustachio by Tractor Brewing. And we have had, as we mentioned before, several glasses of it.
We just had to make sure it was good.
Well, we did. And also we had to shoot an unboxing video. And
Yeah.
You can't do that without beer.
No,
So,
and a knife.
true. You can't.
Look at my awesome knife skills online.
Oh, you're going to tease it that way.
All right. It'd be nice if that was sharpened.
Check out. It was
Probably saved my life, though.
It was sharpened. You just have to use the sharp end of it. Sticking the wooden handle in the box doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. He did use a sharp end.
So we are Milk Mustachio.
Yep.
So what prompted this buy?
Well, actually, somebody, Andy Lusk, when I asked, actually recommended. I asked on the Pico Brewers forum. I asked what Pico packs people recommended. Andy said that this one was great. It was like the best milk chocolate you've ever had, or chocolate milk that you've ever had.
But he stole my review.
Well, yes, but he did actually say that. He said it was very good, and so I ordered it. And
hold on, let me check.
Mouthgasm.
That's pretty good.
He
Needs popcorn.
So anyways, so we've got the Milk Mustachio here today, and it is a little bit different type of beer. Sam, do you want to tell us what type of beer it is?
Well, it's a sweet stout, and a sweet stout is a bit of a misleading term because a sweet stout just sounds absolutely wonderful and delicious. But a couple other names for a sweet stout are milk stout or cream stout, and it's called that because guess what it's got in it?
Milk or cream?
Yeah, pretty much. It's lactose. So these are beers that use lactose, and lactose is a natural sugar, but it's a sugar that does not break down during fermenting process. So you can add this to a beer, and instead of it being broken down, turned into alcohol, etc., it just adds sweetness to the beer. And it adds sweetness, it adds body, it adds character. And I think you can completely taste it. It also adds lactose. So for those who are lactose intolerant or trying to cut it out of their diet, if you see milk stout, cream stout, sweet stout, don't drink it because it's not going to be good for you. It also adds a lot of calories.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. This is not a get thin quick beer. It is the opposite of a Bud Light. And probably everything. Color, alcohol, flavor.
Yeah. SRM, I
Yes.
think, is black.
It is. I think the scale goes to like 40, and this is an SRM of 40 beer right here.
Yeah. It's black. This one is actually fairly clear. I cold crashed it for a while. You couldn't tell because it is
fairly clear, but black.
but black.
So you can't
It's so
see
black. It's
anything in it.
almost opaque. But yeah, it's good. Maybe it's the lactose. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
It's not.
It also could be the chocolate and Munich malts, which are, and that's another characteristic of those sweet stouts. They often use pale and crystal,
Yeah.
but they'll use a chocolate or other dark malt to really give it that color and character before adding that lactose.
Awesome. Well, this one comes to us from Tractor Brewing, and Tractor Brewing is a
Yeah.
brewery.
They sure are.
Yeah, they're definitely a brewery.
Yeah, they are a brewery.
That my notes are completely gone.
So I'll just talk a little bit about it. They're founded by a dairy farmer out of Wisconsin. So perfect. We got a milk stout from a dairy farmer out of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But years and years ago, moved to New Mexico. And really, Tractor Brewing, I believe, has been in that New Mexico area for some time.
Since 2014. Yep.
That's it?
They were founded in 1999 in
Yep.
Los Lunas, and since 2014 located in Albuquerque.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So they've won awards at the
There's a
New
good
Mexico
Weird Al song about that.
New Mexico State Fair Pro-Am competition, and they've got a number of interesting brews, including one that we were pretty excited to see on the webpage and
Oh my
wondering
gosh.
when we're going to get a Pico pack.
Tractor
of.
Brewing, when is this coming?
And it is the...
Citra Hefeweizen.
That does sound good.
So traditional Hefeweizen, but with a bunch of Citra hops added in. And as a man who enjoys an orange in his Hefeweizen, I'm sorry, fruit haters, but I love me some orange. And by the way, don't ever drop the orange in your beer. You know that, right?
I do know that.
The peel can carry a lot of different organisms that cannot be good for you. Best thing to do is squeeze that orange juice into your beer. If the inner orange falls out, great, and then set it down next to your beer. But do not drop that into your beer.
Yeah, if the outer orange falls in there, then just throw the beer away.
Just pour it on the ground and demand another immediately.
I think you should just drink it as fast as possible. And
not time for the organisms to jump from the
exactly.
peel to the beer.
Organisms have no time
The organisms
to
are
spread.
so slow. You organisms are too slow to make transfer to beer.
Why are they Russian?
All organisms are Russian.
Oh, okay. So this particular Pico pack I brewed on August 23rd. It started out normal. It followed the recipe perfect.
It's perfect. Sounds good so far.
I did everything you're supposed to do. I put the the Pico pack
You
into
put the lotion in the basket.
No, that's not the additive to this one, bud. So I brewed it as per recipe. I did not adjust anything. I used the yeast packet that comes with it. I pitched only half of the packet, and I fermented it between 69 and 71 degrees consistently.
Did you brew pulse this thing?
I did. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that right now.
And are we still on the trial version of that app, or is it out for mass consumption?
Still on the trial version.
That's
of
what
that
I
app.
thought.
It's still in beta. It's
beta.
had a couple of updates. I noticed I don't get like my push notifications. I sent in a thing and they said they're working on it. But I do have the Pico Firm logs here that show, in fact, there was very little variation, 71 to 69 degrees the entire time of fermentation.
Nice work.
And this doesn't appear to have or taste any, I don't taste any off flavors in this. It tastes very chocolate milky with a hint of beer.
So this beer.
Now I stole your review.
You did. You now wait till my turn. I'm going to compare it to a drink I liked as a child. So it is a little bit uncharacteristic for the milk stouts because it's really pushing the edges. It is pushing. I am really working on the
I'm going to say I'm going to
enunciation.
cut that out and then we'll just like insert you
You
saying
need
that
to
word.
love unique New York. It is really pushing these edges on IBUs on the low end. So often we see these in the 20 to 40 IBU range.
Okay.
And this is a 20 IBU beer.
Keeping in mind, though, that the IBUs is a totally subjective measurement, right? There's no scientific scale. There's
There's no scientific
can
scale,
go
but
by-
it's not like you just make it up. I think this is an 81. There's still some hints of why it would be.
Okay. Well, I think that's exactly what people do because you can go buy a measurement tool for ABV.
Yes.
And then you can do the calculations, or you can just look at it depending on how you do it, whether it's like a spectrometer or whatever.
Hydrometer.
Or a hydrometer. Like you can get actual readings, but IBUs, there's no tool that exists other than the human tongue.
Well, there's math, and you can try and do maths, but maths around this are not scientifically perfectly accurate. They are guesses.
Oh.
They are estimates.
So again, I say.
But there's not a measurement tool. Subjective. And that's how I got 9 inches. So
of foam in your first pour.
of foam. And it was 9 inches of foam and an half inch of beer.
That's not true. You know why? We poured this thing out of the tap room today.
We sure did.
And it was a perfect pour all the times except for when you put it in reverse for too long. Or that one time when it wasn't a perfect pour. But that was user error.
I can't win. On the other side of the scale, this is a 6.5% alcohol beer.
Which makes it hard to pour.
When you get to the 5th or 6th one, it does. These are, there's some of these that are very, popular in England that are 2% beers. I mean, it's basically you just drink it all day, every day.
I could see why.
You could live on it. Guinness makes a version, and there's a number of others. This is over the normal scale on alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And you wouldn't know you'd know from drinking it once you've had enough, but you would know from the taste. This is not one of those you take and go, wow, that's a lot of beer.
Yeah. Usually by the time you know you've had enough, it's too late.
It's too late.
You're already podcasting. Go, what did I just say?
You can't handle this beer. Yeah, we are at that stage now, and the problem is it's infinitely drinkable. This beer, when I had my first taste of it and I looked at you, and I don't know if you were sure where I was going to go.
I instantly became attractive. You take this to a bar and you're going home with a date. I'm just kidding. No.
You're going home with Jeremy Hidalgo.
No.
You're going to have to get out to some bars, buddy. We've made promises on this show.
I'm going to 0 bars ever again.
But God, where was I? This first, Jesus, that reminds me of something.
The first Jesus? Who's the second one? Oh, he hasn't come yet. Sorry.
So I took my first swig of this beer, and I think you were kind of waiting to see my reaction.
Uh-huh.
And it took me a minute because it's got a ton of mouthfeel. This is not a thinness.
No.
It is the opposite of a thinness. This is a thick, creamy, delicious beer. And I had to wait while I processed all the flavors because it's also not one of those, Guinness is good, but it doesn't pack the flavor punch of something like this.
Yeah, it's a smooth, like the mouthfeel is there a little bit. It's velvety, but it's sort of a smooth beer all the way through.
Sweet, and part of me was waiting to go, is this too sweet? And then I went, nope, this is perfect.
Yeah.
And that's when I looked at you and I said, this is a good beer.
Yeah. I'm excited.
This is a good beer, and we can probably start. Is there anything else you want to say about this before we start getting into it? I know some of the characteristics of these beers are malt, chocolate, and caramel, a lot of sweetness to them. And I think you've really nailed it. It's got the right color. This is a delicious.
It's great. So we're at
not to bury the lead.
It's at 6%, 6.5% ABV,
yeah.
IBU of 20, SRM of 40. Nailed all of those. I talked about the fermentation. It smells amazing.
Pale crystal chocolate Munich malts and no hop.
You really get that chocolate coming through.
They actually get their bitterness out of the malts in these beers.
Yeah, it's like a nitro mocha. Like if you were to get a nitro cold brew,
I swear I bought something like this from Starbucks before.
But so I don't know if everybody's going to be able to relate to this, but we go skiing every year, and the ski lodges have these chocolate milk machines, and they make it's whipped chocolate milk.
Yeah, screw you, everyone in New Mexico.
It's whipped hot chocolate, and it's like hot chocolate that you can't make at home. It's like hot chocolate that you can't get anywhere other than from these machines. And it's similar to that, but if you were to take that and put it into coffee, like a nitro cold brew coffee, and if you really like the beers like Guinness, then this takes that up another level and just makes you feel at home, especially in the fall and the winter. I'm pretty biased.
Spring, sometimes summer.
I would drink this year round. This has replaced one of my top 5 beers, I believe.
I'm sure it's replaced one of your top 5 beers. It may have replaced your top beer.
It's pretty close. Guinness has always been my go-to.
Oh, I was thinking of what you've ever made in a Pico brew.
It's
going to be fighting with Denny Con.
It's fighting with Denny Con.
Yeah, I like it better.
You know why? Well, I know you know why. I think.
Do you know why you like it better? Let me tell you why you
like it better because the vanilla and the bourbon porter aren't also fighting for the spotlight in your mouth.
Yes.
And that bourbon's not trying to take over and go, I'm bourbon and this is more alcoholic than you're used to. Yeah.
I'm bourbon. Grab your socks.
Put on your shoes.
Grandpa? So I really thought you were going somewhere else with that earlier story, by the way. There's that whole, and I don't know if you can all relate to this, but when we take our Tesla to the runway to get in our private jet so we can go to our mountain ski chalet.
I think you have way overestimated this
podcast's
potential.
Jeeves brings out this delicious homemade drink that I don't know if you all can relate to this.
When we go skiing in Aspen,
exactly,
where the salmon of Capistrano flock. Like the women of... I totally messed that up. Even worse than Dumb and Dumber did. All right. Clearly, I've had plenty of this.
We've had not enough of this.
We're
going for more. Hold on. I'll pour. You talk.
Give me another one of those perfect pours out of the tap room.
This thing is sweet.
And I am going to tell you... we actually have a review coming up on this later. Spoiler alert, it's good. And we really like it. Look at those cascading downward bubbles. That's really cool. That's the way you want a stout to pour. So, anyways, if I'm going to rate this from a star perspective.
Not yet.
Oh, not yet? What were you going to say first?
Oh, no. Did you? Did we describe this beer? Maybe we did, and I just didn't get there yet.
We did. Oh, sorry. You need to describe it, and I need to shut up for a while and listen.
Oh no, let me pour Adam this beer first. I have to pay attention.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this on the new computer.
It's all on there. We did pick up a little bit of that sound.
Nice.
Look at that. That's a good pour.
So let me start.
Hold on. Let's cheers this.
Oh, absolutely. Right over the computer. Nice.
Yep. Don't spill.
When I started with a good sniff, and it smells like, and I'll just tell you, it smells like every other good dark beer I've had. Mm-hmm. It didn't really jump out at me at first.
There's no hops. There's no hop profile.
No, it's a pretty minimal on the aroma. So I was like, okay, this smells a lot like, and I've just created the
Dragon's Tooth Stout.
I was going to say Angry Dragon.
No. I don't need to hear how you created
You
the
haven't had the
Dragon.
Angry Dragon's Tooth Stout?
Oh, my God.
So
I think you would end up with a milk mustachio after that one.
It's something. And it smells almost exactly like that. We'll be bringing that in a couple weeks here and reviewing that compared up against the actual stuff in the bottle.
Yeah.
But at first, that's what I got. I'm like, oh man, does this thing just make all dark beer taste the same? Mm-hmm. And then, so that was my original aroma. It's got great bubbles, if you will.
Mm-hmm. I will.
And then when I got my big first swig, it had the same mouth feel, by the way, as that. Remember I was telling you when I did that Dragon's Tooth Stout, I said, it's thicker.
Yeah.
It's much thicker, and I really enjoy it. I even had a glass of it before I even bothered, carbonating or conditioning it.
Sure.
I just had, right out of the brew keg, I had a glass of it, and it was delicious. And then I kind of swallowed, and that sweetness was already hitting my tongue, and then I get that finish as you kind of, breathe out the nose. Mm-hmm. Open up your mouth, keep it closed, open up your mouth to get that big finish.
Yep.
And that flavor explosion, it was like I had just taken a big swig of the chocolate milk that I loved in junior high. And it was like my daily drinker, or the ones I used to take out of the coolers at Microsoft every day. Because I never could break the habit. And I love that they stock the chocolate milks.
Yeah. It's like, and it's got enough maltiness that it's almost like a chocolate malt.
Yes.
Like a chocolate malt.
Very much.
Oh,
man. That chocolate malt milkshake.
Yeah. And the head on this, like, so I'm pouring this out of the tap room, but I am tempted. I'm tempted to hook it up to my kegerator and pour it on nitro. That would be another thing to do.
I'm tempted to drop some vanilla ice cream in it.
Dude, that would be amazing.
It's really delicious. I think you could do a lot of things with this beer. Mm-hmm. It is, again, super easy to drink on its own.
Yeah.
It is a sit down anywhere and have probably too much if you're not paying attention.
Or too much if you are paying attention.
Oh my goodness. my belt has already had to be loosened once.
Really?
It is so good.
Wow.
What do you think this is? About 250 calories a glass?
I don't want to know. Yep. I just don't want to know.
Just count on it.
We're going to do these podcasts, 0 calories.
Oh, if you're recording, it doesn't have calories.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
That's how we roll.
I'm going to start recording my food too.
So how many stars do you give this?
So
how many Pico Dude pints would you give this?
Pico Dude pints? I want to put it 4.75. I'm going to go 4.75. I think there still may be a unicorn out there that I haven't had. This, for me, beats any of the dark beers that I've had out of the Pico Brew.
I'm okay with multiple unicorns or multiple 5s.
You can have more than one unicorn?
And
you're going whole hog.
I'm giving this a 4.9. 1, 2,
no,
5.
You can't, dude. We already went to quarters like 2 episodes because you made me.
Fine, I'll round up. This is a 5-star for me.
Woo!
A 5 Pico Dude pint. And
wow,
I'm not ashamed. I am not ashamed of it. If you brewed this, it'd be a 5. If just so you know, there's no bias toward who brewed the beer.
Oh, I thought you were trying to say I would feel it was a 5 if I had brewed it, like I was being a jerk.
Oh no! I'm not. I'm just.
If you brewed this, you'd think it was a 5 because I brewed it. So.
If I really want a lot more of this beer, and I'm gonna order more Pico packs and just have them around my house.
Yeah.
I can brew them whenever I want.
This is fantastic.
And I should always have one on tap.
I sure hope you can recreate this
I really do.
because it was a delicious way to spend a day, an evening, and I think we have more to get through.
I think we do too. I don't know if we should keep this podcast going or call it a day and just drink some more beer.
We could just tease a little bit. Coming up, we got Dragon's Tooth Stout, and we've got Dead Guy Ale, and they're going to be compared to the real versions from the store, and we'll see what we think. We are going to work on our Amber Waves 100 Mile from the place down the street, the Herb Farm.
Yeah.
And Ron there has been very active in the community, and we're going to see what that turns out like. And we're going to try and get a bottle from him. I believe he's holding one, and see if we can compare that. And you've got some beers coming up, right?
We've got Pike's Brewing Monk's Uncle coming
Yep.
up. Berliner Blut, who was
Berliner
it was a
Berliner
recommendation from one of the folks in the Pico Brewers community. Yes, I listened to all you guys. We finally got those coming. We're going to get them brewed, get them reviewed. And so we've got Berliner Blut, Little Ripa, Bangers Black IPA, and Another Barley Wine. And we also, so Another Barley Wine is one that came from, it says Another on my notes, but that's because of autocorrect. It's actually Another, unless Pico Brew spelled it wrong in the brew marketplace. But that comes from one of our fellow Pico brewers, Steven Yaxie. And
Yahtzee!
He is the winner of our little poll
Was he?
contest of what is Jeremy gonna brew in his Pico Brew with the hops that he grew on the side of his house.
So what are you going to brew in your Pico Brew?
We're gonna brew So Fresh and So Clean Pils.
So fresh and so clean.
A fresh hopped Pilsner. And
Ooh,
that
that's
is
a
a
very
recipe.
long label.
I just received the recipe stats that were built on the Freestyle Brewing app from Steven.
So Steven designed this. So he kind of came up freestyle with the pack that we're going to brew up and then add the hops to.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
you're
so
the man.
We're going to fresh hop this during the brew process. I'm going to pick the hops. I'm going to put them in a bag. And I'm going to put them in the brew keg while the thing is going. Then we're going to take a bunch of the hops and we're going to take them to Pico Brew and work with Mike Brennan on distilling the hop oils from
And we're going to video it so you can see how he does it.
Yes. We're also going to run a comparison of the hop oils from the fresh hops and some hop pellets and see if we can find out, which one is more efficient and how it turns out, and we'll make it interesting. And so that's what we have coming up initially. We're going to get into a bunch more stuff on the YouTube channel. Be patient because we're kind of learning how some of that stuff's going to come out.
Technology.
And Sam and I we're perfectionists with some of this stuff. Sometimes I just put stuff together and throw it out.
Have you not noticed the editing on our podcasts?
The editing. Yeah.
It's so good.
Hey, I'm going to cut that out. No,
There.
you're not.
Now everyone has a reason to drink.
I know. I think that should be our next shirt. Pico Dudes. We're going to cut that out. No, we're not. Take a sip. Anyways.
That's another long shirt. I need to be able to read that after drinking.
Well, we'll just make it in blurry font.
Blurry flaunt. That's
Oh
my favorite
God.
flaunt.
the kind you flaunt. Let's wrap this
Awesome.
up.
Should we?
Yeah.
Adam, you got anything to add? What do you you know what? Let's go to the audience and get their impression of this beer. What do you think of this beer?
My initial comparison was against Guinness also, and so I agreed with what you guys said about it.
Oh,
that
good.
The fact that it has much more of a flavor in a pack, and I don't know if it's because of the tap room or what, but I felt like it had more carbonation in it when it hit my tongue. It was really good.
Good. How would you rate it out of 5?
I give it a 4.
Ooh, a 4. And this is a
I
man
like
who
it.
likes dark
This
beers
is
too.
Honest
I'm not a
audience.
dark beer guy, but this is scary, easy to drink. It's good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good beer.
Did you say you're not a dark beer guy?
Yeah, not
Oh.
this dark.
Who are you?
Oh, okay.
We don't know you
You're
anymore.
not an SRM of black.
No.
Okay. What kind of beers do you like? You didn't know this was going to turn into an interview, did you?
Man. No, I try to stick with something that's kind of the mid to low range IBUs, but I'm really open to try anything.
Wow.
I like the IPAs. The hazy IPAs are coming out now, and I was actually driving down the street the other day, and I think Pyramid caught on to that, and they have. Did you guys see the billboard?
They caught on to the fact that you were driving down the
street. No, they
street.
caught on to the fact like all these hazy IPAs are coming out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They have a billboard that says it's a Hefeweizen billboard that says hazy since '86. I think they're trying to. They're
trying to like, hey, we did it too, and maybe first.
They're talking about their reputation.
I gotta say, so you heard him. Adam will try anything. You can find him, ladies, on farmersonly.com, on Christian's Mingle, and MySpace. So go give him a look.
By the way, if you would like to drink or learn more,
pick me.
Learn more about the Tractor Brewing beers that they offer, go to getplowed.com because that's their website, and we think it's a brilliant idea.
That is literally their website. And do you know how many minutes we sat there after clicking Yes, I Am 21 before clicking Enter the site going, wow, is this going to get me in trouble?
I'm pretty sure I yelled to my wife, honey, don't check my search history. I swear it's for beer research.
Getplowed.com, Tractor Brewing. They've got a couple other very interesting beers coming up, and hopefully they'll get them into Pico Pack soon.
Yeah. We're looking to get you some offer codes or some discount codes on the Taproom coming up. So yes. I'll try and tack that onto this episode. If not, look for our next ad or look for that in the coming weeks.
Yeah, we're going to try and catch you in here soon and either try some of the beer he's made or have him try some of the beer we've made, right?
Yeah, and I promise we'll buy another mic so when we have other guests, they don't sound as
like they're so distant.
Yeah. Go back in the corner.
Wow. All right. Should we wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up.
Pico Dudes out.
You've reached the end of another episode of the Pico Dudes podcast. Connect with us at picodudes.com, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And if you enjoyed our show, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give us a review wherever you listen to your podcasts, but mostly iTunes. Also, if you want a code that will help give you some discounts off of the Pico Brew equipment, Z150D equals $150 off of the Z Series. Pro, 125D, gives you $125 off the Pico Pro, and C75D gets you $75 off of your purchase of the Pico C. We hope you enjoy listening. Look forward to hearing from you.